Took me a couple days to recover, get everything organized in my life again after that crazy week last week. So this thing is still covered in sand. I probably should have washed it, but I'm gonna work on it. We're gonna fix the transmission so I can have some fun with this. Maybe I'll even pull out some dents. We'll see if we get that far. It's crazy how the sand scuffed the paint. Like just instantly sanded it. Get it? Sanded it. Anyway, I've got a plan for this thing. We'll go up with the lift and I'll show you the damages. Please hold. Okay, that's tall enough. I'm short. So, okay, right. Can you see it? Kind of hard to see. Let me get a light. Oh, blind you. Okay, see the big old crack all the way around. Sad day. It's a very sad day because this transmission was perfect. From the moment I built it, it worked flawlessly. One of the few things that just flawlessly worked, but I broke it because this driveline is still a factory, whoa, can you see that? Still a factory slip yoke right here. Kind of a big no-no, but I was working with what I had, so that's what we went with. But I think going through those whoops or jumps or what do you want to call them in the arena that Matt kindly made for me.
Exhibit A and Exhibit B.
I think the rear end was going up and down at such a fast rate that this, instead of sliding in and out, bound and started just forcing the whole transfer case up and down rather than slipping in and out. So it just broke off where it mounts, which makes complete sense. So this whole back half can wiggle. Oh yeah, that's what it was doing. Wiggle, 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 till the aluminum case said no more, broke it. So I think I have some parts here that I could have used in the beginning to do it better, but I didn't even know I had them until we came back from this trip and I was looking at my spare transmissions, and I'll show you what we find. Jim thought of a really cool t-shirt idea for his channel. It said something along the lines of, it's not hoarding if your stuff is cool. I got some junk here. Jim has way more junk than me, but I have some spare turbo 400 transmission cores, and those things are like gold to me because I love building that transmission. So I've got one right here that has a factory fixed yoke on the back. So it's a two-wheel drive transmission with a fixed yoke on the back, which heavy-duty trucks had and stuff. People usually swap away from that when they put these into cars. But I think that it's the same splines as the output of that transfer case. So I could drill and tap that transfer case output shaft and then use that fixed yoke and build a driveline that slips in the center like off-roaders, you know, like to use for a reason. You see the reason. It doesn't bind up as easily. It has bound up, as Trail Mater, what happened to Old Blue's driveline on Pritchett, and he broke a transmission case. So this is not super rare situation that I'm running into. Next project will be fixing Jesse's front axle in the Camaro so we can go play together, because I really want a his and hers four-wheel drive car cruising video. I'm so excited for that. We didn't really get that because I broke my car and then she broke her car. We never even got the two to drive next to each other yet. So progress. Scrap trailer's full, got to take that out. First things first, gotta get these drive lines out of the way. Alrighty. I think I found out why the transmission broke. The splines are bound up. Ugh. This driveline does not slip at all. So the spline's either twisted or bent. Woo. Alrighty, let's look in here. Okay. Yeah, you can see, if you guys could see, but you're not gonna be able to see in there. Splines have twisted. Which means this thing would hit a certain point, especially going up and down at like 100 miles an hour back here. That's not good. That means that would bind and then it would just shove the transfer case up rather than in. Broke it. So, awesome. On the drive lines that slip like this, you know, the style that we're gonna go to where the slip is built into the center of the drive line, that still can happen. These splines twist, this binds, and it sends it upstream to break the transmission. So it's a thing. It's the definite failure point of off-road vehicles. But this shouldn't be hard to remove when, you know, it's broke off of the transmission now. I went and stole the fixed yoke out of that spare Turbo 400 two-wheel drive transmission I have. Let's see if it fits this transfer case spline. I think it's going. Look at that. That is out of a two-wheel drive transmission and now going on the output of a transfer case. Kind of crazy, but cool. So the hardest thing about doing this swapola, that output shaft is hardened steel. Where'd my bolt go? Oh yeah. That output shaft is hardened steel. This bolt was threaded into the output shaft of the transmission I stole this out of, had threads in it. This one does not. So I've got to drill and tap that to take a bolt so that this stays in, and then the drive line does the in and out movement, and this just stays right there. And then I'm probably gonna build another mount or loop this kind of tight with rubber around it or something, because I would rather break this transfer case than another transmission. That's a win. Parts out of my own yard. I could have done this from the beginning. Dang it. But didn't realize it till now that I had those capabilities. Do it right once and cry once. Is that how it goes? Or I do it 5 times and cry every time? Something like that. Well, at least nothing's rusty yet. It's all recently been installed, like last week. Definitely nothing's had time to rust yet. And now it's all coated in transmission fluid. There we go. Free Willy. Ah, nasty, sandy transmission fluid. Oh, that's gross. Now you can really see the broke. Ooh. Oh yeah. That thing still drove itself on, which is impressive. Should have got one more race out of it, just like that. Just for fun. Let's see. There's this bar here that I could cut, but I'm gonna see if I can come back and then down with it. I don't think I can come back far enough. So I've got to cut this tube. No big deal. Get my Sawzall out. There we go. Woo, going down. It couldn't be this piece that broke. Had to be the back of the transmission. Look at that. Nice, shiny, brand new transmission. Junked. Not good. Super annoying. We'll fix it. Let's see if it's ready to come out. Alright, I got it. Oh, baby. This is a thin board I have it sitting on. That was scary. What's up, guys? I've got my donor case transmission. Supposedly wasn't working so good for the previous owner. So I'm just gonna use the case and put all the good guts out of this one into that one. They're pretty much identical turbo 400s. So I gotta tear the guts out of this one, store them for a later date whenever I break something else internally. This one probably just needs a refresh and it'll be good to go. But everything in that I know is good. So I'll just swap them, all the good stuff into this one, and then keep all the old parts. And yeah, like Jim says, you're not a hoarder if your stuff is cool. I have these sitting on a bucket to help them drain. Out comes the pump. This thing looks brand freaking new. So far, everything looks new. Oh, now it's time to throw this thing in the washer, and then I can tear down the other. Case, and then assemble everything into a nice clean case that's not broken in half. Let's see what it looks like. Steamy. Nice and clean. Beautiful. Rig it up on the transmission stand. It's nice transmissions have a little hole on each side built to hold on stands like this. So then you can take this, you can bring it over here, slip it into my tool mounted to the bench. And I can hold it like that, or I can spin it. So nice. Whew. I put it on the steel bench, but I have another transmission torn down that I don't want to mix parts. So I'm gonna tear, this is the case that cracked, that was in the ElCamino. Ooh. I'm gonna tear it down here, move all the parts to that good case. So I've got my modified valve body off of the transmission that was in the ElCamino. And you can see there's only 2 check balls, one right there, one right there. That's all the check balls versus the 6 or 7 that come with them stock that I'm running in this transmission, because I've highly modified the valve body for a manual, full manual shifting transmission. I have to manually shift it first, second, third. It just makes it a lot more solid, and there's a lot less burning of the clutches because you're just direct, just on it, on it, on it. I love these transmissions because they're simple and they're stout, and that's why trophy trucks, drag racers still use them today, even though they were designed in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Like, that's it. So pretty good transmissions. That's why I was sad when this case cracked, because this transmission was perfect. I built it, it worked perfect, but hopefully I can do it again into the same case with the same parts, same modified valve body. Be good to go. I'm gonna have to wash the sand around the seal on that one. But the inside's clean, nice and shiny. Brand new clutches. So this case is pretty much stripped down. I need to take my shift lever off the linkage, and that's it. Now it's just time to put it all back in this case. This is where that special bolt goes. Holds this in place. There we go. We're there. Time to flip it back over now that it's loaded. Woo! That bathtub and that bathtub. Let me review my video. Make sure I put those two check balls in the right place. You gotta line up the shifter crow's foot, or not crow's foot, rooster, shifter rooster with your spool valve in your valve body as you go down. I've tightened these all by hand. Now it's time to put this goofy filter set up. Now we can put the pan on. This baby's built. I'll put it back in the car. I gotta modify the output of the transfer case. This thing can go back in. Alrighty, I've got the converter in. I'm not gonna paint this transmission because it seems like everything I paint nice, I break immediately. So it's just clean, put back together. Just like those crusty heads, unpainted. They're working fine. Going up, clean. Going up still. Oh, I got the bell housing bolts on. Got showered in transmission fluid sand. It's a nice mixture. Oh. So now, moving on to the transfer case, before I put it up in there and make this harder, I need to drill and tap this tail shaft to take a bolt to hold this yoke on here. This is hardened steel, so we'll see if my drill bits are up to the task. I'm gonna put this yoke on here to keep metal from going down into the transmission, or in transfer case, and then we'll see what happens. Let's see if I can drill this. So far, so good. So I've got this drilled and tapped, it's ready to go, but I'm realizing there's nothing stopping this from shoving into the tail of the transmission and eating it up when the driveline wants to not compress. It would just eat into this seal and then the aluminum case, because nothing is stopping it from going that direction. So I'm going to weld the big thick washer that it came with to the yoke, and that should keep it from wanting to go beyond where I want it to, and then it won't pull out this way either. So just got to weld that in. It's cast, so this is going to be interesting, but I'll figure it out. It'll work. Or it won't. We'll find out. It's sticking a little. Once I got the cast yoke heated up pretty good, I started penetrating well, so the washer should stay there. And then the transfer case is ready to go. Just need to put it in. I've run out of time, so this is where I'm going to end this one. I appreciate everyone that has reached out, liked the build, appreciated it. I'm getting it put back together so we can go do some more fun things with it. And yeah, hopefully do a lot more videos and testing with it than we got last time. It's looking good. Transmission put all together and back in a day. It's not bad to me. So thank you. I appreciate it. Like and subscribe to watch some more. We'll get this thing ripping in the next week or so, and you'll see some content rolling out with the old ElCamino. And we gotta get Jesse's Camaro fixed next.